I hope this pops off. I think this is fucked. I want people to talk about this. I want people to actually talk about this. I think this should be the latest fuel in the fire. I want a standstill episode. I want a fucking standstill episode on this shit. This is unjust. This is not fair right here. This is not fucking fair is what this is. All right, but it's not about that right now. It's about Smash and the FGC. What's up, YouTube? Had to do a video on this one because I just thought this was bonkers, dude. I woke up in the morning and I was like, what in Sam Hill is going on Twitter.com today? The timeline is a mess again. And I did some digging. I was trying to figure out what the hell was going on. Let me paint you guys a picture. If you guys missed it, this was the big news on Twitter.com on Sunday. No, it wasn't IBW winning his first online major, which was awesome. Congratulations to IBW winning Pound Online. No, it was the CEO Guilty Gear Strive bracket filling up in 2 minutes. And some people getting big mad about it. Big mad. So yesterday, if you missed it, because I did, CEO Gaming, as you know, this is one of the first offline majors that's been announced. Fighting game tournament with, you know, Smash has had a huge history at this event. Always been a good time at CEOs. And, yeah, when they opened up their registrations, basically they hit the caps that they set for the event instantly. And the reason that these caps are pretty low is because they're coming off of COVID, right? So as restrictions are being lifted, you know, it just wasn't the case that they could go and immediately ramp back up to their old capacity. They had to kind of take it slow. So it's, you know, whatever, 500 entrants, 700 entrant caps, things like that. And Guilty Gear Strive, as you guys know, is popping the fuck off right now. This game is super hot. And literally within 2 minutes this morning, or today, right? Because they announced yesterday in 24 hours, noon Eastern Standard Time, so 9 a.m. on the West Coast, we are reopening registration. We're opening up some more spots, and they added 200 more slots for Smash Ult, 200 more slots for Guilty Gear Strive, and they filled up within 2 minutes. Okay, all well and good. What's the problem? The event's popping off. A lot of people want to sign up for this event. There's a lot of supply, not a lot of supply, but a lot of men. What's the problem? Well, we can't have nice things, and everyone's got to be mad all the time. So Mars, who, and I get where he's coming from. I completely get where he's coming from, but Mars tweeted, top Smash Ultimate player. He tweeted a take that I don't think is completely unreasonable, but he said, hey, I hope they just start letting top players do early reg, okay? I know it's top player privilege or whatever, but I'd rather see MK, Leo, and Light go to CEO, for example, rather than two dudes who are going to go 0-2 and ask top players for their pictures only after they lose. Now, I think people might have overreacted a little bit because people got mad. People got angry down to their core. People were saying all kinds of shit. People were saying, you know, you know, Allied Joe, you're kidding me, hold a spot for top players? No one really means that, right? It's just someone being funny. The Nun, I think, is saying that I think he's calling Nun a top player, which is very kind of him as a fellow Golden Guardian. But I think he's really saying, I think, you know, the up-and-coming players, they're the life force of the scene. You know, they got the drive to come up. They're the reason we exist. Stop, you know, get that shit out of here. Every player is equal in an open bracket. And I think that's super fair. I think that philosophy has been, you know, just a cornerstone of open bracket esports like Smash, like fighting games, right? And yeah, I think that people also were kind of mad because, like, you know, MK Leo came out and replied to this and said, where was MK Leo? MK Leo came out and was responding, right? And people were, I think, upset for this particular reason. I think people were upset because he said, where was it? He might have even deleted his tweet, man. He might have even deleted this tweet. There was so much drama off of this thing. This shit was crazy. This shit was crazy. So he replied, and this was basically where a lot of this drama started spiraling out of control, was MK Leo here tweeted, Miss CEO again, lol, right? And, you know, obviously that's the #1 Smash Ultimate player. Light tweeted, I just woke up. Like, damn, I missed it. And people were basically ragging on him. Damn, Smash just can't even... That's how you know these kids who are all 14 years old and live in their parents' basements. That's how you know they don't have jobs, they don't wake up on time. You know, all these Smash kids, they wake up at noon and all this nonsense, and they're missing, you know, they can't even say, if you're really a pro player, if you're really a pro player, you know, you ought to be ashamed of yourself because you got to wake up for work just like the rest of us. And I think that's fair. I think it makes sense. You know, if I was just looking for cheap engagements, you know, I'd be memeing on it too. At the same time, I'm not. I'm here to deliver you professional takes. I'm here to give you the nuance that you can't get from these Twitter shitters. So I want to talk about this from multiple angles. First of all, I think that people were mad at Mars because he came at, again, he worded it, dudes that are going to go 0-2 and ask top players for pictures only after they lose. You know, he made it about the everyman. And he made the everyman feel like, damn, you're insulting me. Why are you insulting me? You know? And I think that people got pretty upset about that for that reason. And I agree that you can make your point without, you know, making people feel like they're, you know, like they're the problem, right? Because people, I mean, you know, people are ultimately, you know, new players are ultimately the lifeblood of the scene. I think that growing the scene is ultimately comes down to getting more of those players interested. And also, I think that unfair treatment, you know, for top players or whatever you want to call it, it is tricky for a TO to uphold because, you know, I think that you can easily see a world where people, you know, imagine he says, okay, PGR top 10 or something, PGR top 10 are going to get early reg. Some people are saying all PGR top 50 should be able to early reg. But that's 50 people out of a 500-man bracket. That is a huge chunk of the bracket, right? So that's a sacrifice that a TO would have to make. And then if you cut it off somewhere, invariably you're going to make somebody upset. They're going to say, hey, why'd you cut it off at top 10? Why'd you cut it off at top 15, right? Also, people are going to invariably come out and say, look, whoa, why are you using PGR from 2 years ago? We're coming off of COVID. Those rankings are all outdated. Don't you know that, you know, Jake, the Minecraft Steve player, he's so cracked, bro. How are you not going to let Jake, the Minecraft Steve player, who's got the sickest Minecraft Steve to ever do it, Hungrybox once called him the 5 gods of ultimate. How are you not going to let Jake, the Minecraft Steve player, early reg? Jake, the Minecraft Steve, look. You guys don't believe me. How are you gonna, I mean, Jake's not PGR'd. But you know, people invariably, if you make a decision, like, let me tell you, being a TO is fucking hard. And when you make any kind of TO that shows any kind of favoritism, people will blow you the fuck up. I do not envy Jabali for having to make calls like this. And yeah, people are gonna get big mad. Bro, my favorite player, what about, you know, I mean, you can always find somebody to be upset about, right? So it's, I mean, it's a tricky spot to be in. You know, Riptide is a tournament that, actually, I should just show you guys the clip in a bit. Hey, can one of you guys go find the clip where someone clipped it earlier? I gotta pull that up. I gotta show that off in a bit because that shit was funny as fuck. Yeah, dude, getting in a Riptide is like harder than getting, like, you know, oh! Fuck yeah! Top player privilege! All right! It's happening! All right, well, there you go. Maybe, oh, shit! Let's go! Mega 11 can go! Oh, fuck! Oh, let's go, dude! But yeah, I mean, I think, the thing about it, too, is you gotta realize, like, I think people are mad because the specific circumstance this time around was, like, you know, Light basically saying, I overslept, lol. And kind of, you know, it doesn't feel like the most professional whatever. Not that I think, like, you know, I don't blame him, right? Like, I mean, it was, I missed Strive registration for, I'm trying to go to CEO this year. I missed the registration because I was at, Tasty Steve's house last night playing offline Strive with Tasty Steve and Hanzo Gonzo instead of checking CEO Gaming Twitter, right? So I missed Strive cutoff because I was playing offline Strive with Tasty, with Hanzo. So I personally, I blame Hanzo Gonzo for me, okay? Not everybody has that luxury. I'm blaming Hanzo Gonzo. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really, like, mad at Light or whatever. Obviously, I don't think anybody is, but except for, you know, if you guys would see, I mean, there are just crazy responses to this Mars tweet. Like, people are, every person on the internet, I mean, there were all kinds of tweets. If you scroll down, bro, I mean, it's like, again, you pull this shit up again. This shit was like, I mean, it was crazy. The FGC was going ham this morning. Because I think they like to go ham on Smashers. You know, off of tweets like this, you know, blah, 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 you know. Top players considered top 8, something. It's still their responsibility to register themselves, you know, and then people tag the dude, Mars, you know, be mad at him. Dude, this tank, Lord have mercy, you know. Something. It was, you You know, that's the type of thing that needs to go. You know, fuck them top players. Those top players have it easy for too long with their VIP rooms. I'm saying it was a Smash player, you know, take their bullshit with a grain of salt. Those fucking Smash players don't know what they're talking about with their 0 to deaths and their guessies and their mix-ups and all this nonsense. And I think the thing that's challenging about this, right, is like, okay, I think the way Mars presented his argument was a little bit, you know, rough around the edges, but ultimately I think he raises a good point. Because, okay, here's the thing. Sponsors get into fighting games in Smash so that their top players can have screen time at tournaments. Like, if I'm Leffen and I'm sponsored by TSM, well, put it this way. If I'm TSM's League of Legends team, you are guaranteed to know that with your franchise spot that you purchased in the LCS, your team is going to get to play on the big stage and you're going to get, you know, this much sponsor time and all this stuff. Okay, Golden Guardians were sponsored by what? Invisalign, Clorox, Zenny, right? Now imagine, you know, basically, if Zane, because again, remember, Reg filled up in 2 minutes. 200 spots filled in 2 minutes. You know, there's a lot of interest, and there are a lot of people that naturally aren't going to be able to get in. There are people that woke up on time that couldn't get in. I saw it. There were people like, man, the site was going hella slow. I didn't get in. Reg filled up even though I woke up on time. That literally happens. That's the state of the world post-COVID. If that's what you're saying, why, if I'm a sponsor looking to get into FGC, getting into Smash, and it's a gamble if my players can even go to a tournament, why would I invest in the FGC? Why would I invest in Smash? Okay, I'll give you a bunch of money to maybe get to play in tournaments. That's, you know what I mean? It's just bad for business. So, I mean, I get the argument that, like, philosophically, everybody should be equal in an open bracket. But I'm always going to be zooming out. I'm always going to be taking the bigger picture. And I feel like it's tough. I feel like it's tough to just say blanketly, like, there's no argument that top players shouldn't get a little bit of different treatment. You know, because again, yeah, this time, you know, sure, light slept in or whatever, but there were definitely players that woke up on time and tried to reg and just couldn't. Because that is just, you know, and it's a great problem to have, don't get me wrong. The fact that tournaments are filling up that goddamn fast, that's a great problem to have. But I mean, yeah, I mean, a top 8 that has the best commentator, or sorry, competitors, is naturally just going to be more interesting to watch, I think, right? So I think certainly both sides of an argument here. And I don't think it's that cut and dry. You know, I think there's some nuance to be had with this argument. And I don't think it's super duper, but you know, for all the Twitter sitters, it is easier to just meme. I can't be that, right? I can't be that. I'm never gonna just be, I'm gonna be one of these. I gotta provide the hot, you know, the solid takes at the end of the day. That's just how it is on this stream. People are also assuming Mars didn't get in, but he's one of the only players who did. Yeah, it's fucked up for him too. He was literally saying it. That's actually the funny part. Mars was literally just saying, bro, I just don't want to go to the event and literally sweep it for free. I would like stronger competition. Isn't that crazy? How much people twist people's words? People are like, oh, this fucking stupid Smash kid couldn't wake up on time. Damn, he was literally saying, I would like it if I had a more difficult bracket, so I had a harder time to win a bunch of money. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like the degree to which Twitter just blows people's words out of proportion and people just go ape shit for no goddamn reason. I mean, it is wild. It is a wild world we live in on the internet. And yeah, I mean, people coming out with all kinds of takes. My responses were fucked. Or my replies. I got into this whole thing. It was pretty funny. You know, I had to get involved. Tweeted like, you know, I think that there's a disconnect, and this is, by the way, this is something that has kind of come up before, is this disconnect in like, how do we treat top players in the Smash community versus the FGC? And it's funny because the FGC, there's been this kind of meme, or this kind of they call that, they're like, yeah, Smashers, you know, these Smash kids, they're celebrity worshipers, man. They love to worship their top players. This celebrity worship. They love to, you know, stalk top players for autographs and shit like that. You know, in FGC, we're all on an equal playing field. We're all, you know, whatever, you know, we're all treat each other equally, you know, no one idolizes anybody. And, you know, I got in it with this guy because he said, you know, I think there is a wrong answer and it's undervaluing the many to benefit the few. And he was trying to make the point. And this is how quickly you can take somebody's argument. You know, like, people don't put any critical thinking into what they're saying. This guy's basically saying you're undervaluing the many, you know, the many people who might register for event to benefit the few top players. Right, so of course you shouldn't float top players and let them not float, but let them do early reg or whatever. Right, you shouldn't hold spots for top players because you're benefiting the few. And of course I had to twist it on it, but I said, oh, so you're so clearly what you're saying is you don't think we should benefit the very few people that were able to wake up on time and register for the event, and you think we should benefit the many players who are very interested in watching MK Leo in top 8. The thousands and thousands and tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of MK Leo fans. I agree. We should let MK Leo in. You're right. And yeah, I don't know, man. People don't think very hard on twitter.com is what I've noticed. So what I do is I wake up and I see a lot of people say a lot of stupid kind of surface level shit on this website. And I'm like, I could either... This guy got lucky, I think. This guy got lucky because I could do this all day. I could literally take surface level arguments and just shoot them down all day. And instead I touch grass. But sometimes somebody gets a piece. But I just had to, I don't know, man. I mean, it was just crazy day on twitter.com today. And you know, the funny thing is, this actually isn't the first time this ever happened. This has happened even within the context of the Smash scene itself. This is my earliest video on youtube.com. The real ones remember this video. This was like before I recorded this video on my fucking phone. This fucking video right here called it "Are We Esports Yet?" Look at my short ass hair. I recorded this video back in 2015, and if you guys remember what the drama was, this is completely unscripted. This is the first video I ever did on this channel. I recorded on my fucking phone. This was definitely not monetized, and this was me talking about. So this was a very similar, actually, argument that came up in the wake of, I think it was Smash Summit 2. It might have been Smash Summit 1, but I think it was Smash Summit 2. And basically what happened was this guy from Melee Hell, he was the leader of Melee Hell. And this was no FGC involvement here. This was all within Smash, okay? So the leader of Melee Hell was like, get me voted into Summit. I'm going to Summit. He campaigned, and he campaigned on Melee Hell, which was a Facebook group that at its best was a very funny kind of meme page, right, for Smash. And at its worst, there was a little bit of toxicity that came out of that group. And I think that also kind of colored this conversation at the time. But, you know, he was coming out and he was saying, you know, hey, get me voted into Summit, blah, 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 all this stuff. And people were basically kind of upset because people were saying, like, you know, you're not a good player. You run a meme page. And in those days, they didn't really have restrictions, I guess, on who could opt in. I think this was actually the reason they started imposing restrictions. Like, you've got to be top 64 at this event. You got to be top 64 at this. You know, you have to, for example, get top 64 at 4 Loco Fight Night. Very stacked event. Something of that nature if you want to opt into Summit, right? And so, basically what happened was this guy, the leader of Melee Hell, who was not a notable player by any stretch, had a very successful campaign going, and Beyond the Summit cut him off. They're like, nah, you actually can't do this. We're actually making a call here. You are going to Melee Hell went from funny to a, yes, it did. It did go from that to that, yes. Transphobic toxic shithole, that is accurate. It was bad. It got bad. It got bad. And I would say that basically what happened in this whole kind of debacle was, you know, there was a very loud group of people that was like, hey, Melee Hell, that's for the people. You know, at the end of the day, if you're doing Summit campaigning, you know, you said that anyone could opt in. So we're funding our campaign with our money, you know. It should be an equal playing field. There should be no reason that somebody like, you know, SUJ or some top players should get in over our Melee Hell champion that we want to campaign for. And, you know, the problem is that's just kind of not how it works, you know, for an event like Smash Summit especially, which is an invitational. And I think that is certainly one of the differentiating factors. But, you know, certainly for that event, and this whole argument came up, you know, the everyman, you know, you're shafting the everyman. You know, the spirit of Smash is that everyone should be have an equal playing field or whatever. And, you know, Beyond the Summit was like, well, unfortunately for you guys, we have sponsors. And, you know, like it or not, there is a limited amount of money going into the Smash scene. And at this point, we'll take what we can get. So, you know, yeah, you can vote your meme pick in, and then it's like, now what? Now Mango's triple 3-stocking him, and Armada's triple 3-stocking. You know what I mean? It's just like, at the end of the day, you know, the viewers want to see top level play. Now, I think one of the core differences, and I think why this particular instance with the CEO stuff blew up so much, was that CEO is not an invitational. It's an open bracket. But, I mean, and, you know, again, there's many kind of aspects to this. This is something Practical Task tweeted. This whole thing with, you know, permitting top players to, like, reg in advance or whatever the hell, this isn't something new. This isn't something that we, like, invented overnight, right? Japan just had 18 out of the top 20 Japanese players in advance, and it's because they invited them in advance. I mean, or you can say that magically Japanese top players have the mystical ability to all wake up super duper early, but I mean, that's just, you know, that's just not, you know what I mean? It's not realistic. It's not what happened. So yeah, I mean, this is a practice that the tournament organizers will do. And I think ultimately it does come down to the TO, right? It literally just comes down to the TO. And I don't think that Riptide is wrong for permitting top players to enter. And I also don't think that, Jabele's in the wrong here. I think it's a tough call. If you're going to start permitting top players to get in, it's definitely a call that you have to make. And then that raises a whole separate slew of shitters complaining on the internet. So basically, you know, at the end of the day, what you got to know is if you're a TO, you can't win. Everyone's going to be mad all the time. And you just got to roll with the punches. I don't envy anything about being a TO. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. And yeah, I mean, I think it sucks. Like, I think it sucks that, I remember being in college, man, when I was a freshman. And I had to get into, my whole major would have been different. Because I was trying to get into, like, intro to biology or whatever. And we used to have to wake up at 6 a.m. to register for courses. And those intro to science courses would fill up instantly. And I literally woke up at 6 a.m., could not get in intro biology. And I was like, well, I guess I can't be pre-med anymore. Because then I would have to get into, you know, and then I'd have to wait a whole year to get in my program. So I was like, all right, computer science. You know what I mean? Nothing to do with me waking up or time or not. It just filled up instantly. It filled up instantly. And I mean, yeah, if that's the world we're living in, then I totally get where Mars is coming from. And I mean, I don't think it's that insane. I don't think it's that insane of a thing to say. Yeah, UW class signups were fucking crazy. I always forget you went to the University of Washington. That's so funny. Yeah, I think you just gotta hold that, man, at the end of the day. I think you just gotta hold that. And ultimately, Smash Ultimate has so many top players. And this was the other thing, too. I was responding to somebody. I think this is funny, too. Because someone on my timeline, who's more FGC-oriented, was saying, you know, do these top players realize that the number of players... You know, you wouldn't guess it from this Mars tweet, right? Okay, it's kind of a... What do they call it? It's like a zero-sum thing, right? Like, every bracket of any given size is going to ultimately have the same number of people who go on too. It's just bracket math. If MK Leo doesn't get to enter because he slept in, and an 0-2er, that doesn't mean that one more person in the bracket goes 0-2, right? If you take this argument to its logical conclusion and you run a tournament with only top players, then some of the top players will become 0-2ers. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, it is kind of odd to word it as like, oh, there's going to be more 0-2ers. Because it's like, no, not really. Actually, the exact same number of people are going to go 0-2. Again, I see what Mars is trying to say here, but, you know, maybe, you know, what we really need... I'll leave you guys off with an anecdote, okay? I'll leave you guys with an anecdote. Maybe this is the world that Mars wants. I went to SEAM 2018. 2019? 2018? Oh, 2 isn't a bracket score. It's a way of life. Yeah, true. But, here's the thing. I was at SEAM, and it was this wild bracket because I entered Smash Ultimate, which had maybe 80 entrants, 90 entrants. But I noticed there was also a Street Fighter V event. And the Street Fighter V tournament had about 50 to 60 entrants. And of those 50 to 60 entrants, I recognized like 30 of the names. And I realized, like, bro, this is how it is for CPT events. Because, like, they all, like, round 2 of your, or, like, your second round of winners in your round 1 pools are literally, like, I mean, dude, can I find the bracket? Let me see if I can find the bracket. I mean, I thought this was don't take it from me. Let me find you guys the actual bracket. Let's go to the Street Fighter 5 pools. I actually found it on Smashergy right here. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Look at this pool. Tokido, Kichipamu, Dogura in the same round 1 pool. Like, this is a like, okay, like, this is, you thought I was joking with you. If any of you guys follow Street Fighter 5, you'll immediately be like, wait, this looks fucked up. This looks like they seeded the tournament wrong. Round 2 of winners, Verloren versus Kazunoko, Dogura, Kichipamu, Tokido. Those are 5 legendary fighting gamers in 1 pool. This is the world Mars wants. This is the world. This was every pool, by the way. This is literally how it is at CPT events. Because the top players all go for CPT points and they all get, you know, they get in or whatever. This is Mars's world taken to its logical extreme. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Fujimura, Nemo, GamerB. I'm sure these guys are good too, but I don't know Namen. Well, Namen's sponsored by Dead Nation, so I'm sure he's good. I mean, every single fucking pool is just like round 2 winners. You're literally fighting world-class top players. All the way down. Literally all the way down. Mago, Narikun, Hurricane, Oil King. Narikun, Oil King literally loses his first match. Oil King, top fucking Street Fighter player. Got to hang out with him at a DreamHack many years ago. Taiwanese, Street Fighter, like legendary Street Fighter player. He gets a bye and immediately just gets sent to losers. I mean, a fucking ridiculous tournament, and that's because it's just all pros all the way down. Because this is Mars's world. This is literally. I mean, to give you guys some perspective, I know most of you guys are Smash fans and not Street Fighter 5 fans. To give you guys some perspective, I mean, this is literally like if you tried to go, you flew to Singapore, you flew across the world for a major, and you know, Mango was playing like SFAT, like round 2 of winners. Mango gets a bye into SFAT. You know what I mean? And that's his first match of the day. Like, period. I mean, that is the level to which Capcom Pro Tour events are, because they do this, right? And you know, all the top players go, and obviously this event doesn't have a cap, so it's a little bit different, right? They're not saying like they're capping it, but it's like all the top players basically go, and because they all want those juicy Capcom Pro Tour points, and you know, it does kind of. I mean, the bracket looks crazy different when you actually do this, so it's nuts. It's nuts. I mean, if anyone in the chat right now that like follows Street Fighter, they're looking at these pools and they're like, what the fuck? Like, these are, I mean, these are, again, look at this shit. Look at this shit. John Takeuchi, who's literally won Capcom Pro Tour events, playing Xiao Hai to get out. Daigo. And, you know, one of, like, I mean, just all the way down, like, immediately in your pool, you're playing just world-class players. So, it's just kind of crazy. Xiao Hai doesn't even make it out of his pool and winners, right? I mean, like, one of the greatest fighting gamers ever. So, I mean, yeah, it was just absolutely bonkers. But yeah, this is, I mean, it's just interesting to me, I think. And I think that it's, for a lot of people just would rather meme than use a semblance of, you know, any kind of brain cells or whatever. But, yeah, it's tricky. I don't envy anybody who has to make these sorts of calls.